Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video, and today we're actually here on Assetto Corsa for, well, a mod video, as you can probably tell by the title, and obviously if you're aware of this circuit on your screens as well. But this weekend, Formula 1 heads back to France for I think the first time in over 10 years. Obviously the last race was back in 2008, and this time around they're not going back to Magny-Cours, which I think a lot of people are very, very disappointed about. They're actually heading to Paul Ricard. Now, I've actually made a video on this track before, on, I think it was R Factor 2 a few months back, and since then, you know, I've sort of wanted to make more of a video on Assetto Corsa because there's a much better Halo mod, as you can see on your screens, as well as, in my opinion, you know, a bit of a better, obviously it's an official 2017 Ferrari F1 car with obviously a modded Halo on top of it. So I wanted to try and, you know, find a mod for a Assetto Corsa for this track, and that is what I've been able to find today for, you know, a little bit of a different video, because obviously we don't have any official Formula 1 games with this track on it. Obviously we will, well, we'll get F1 2018 with this track, but obviously that's going to be a couple of months down the line. Hopefully, you know, we might get some footage from this track in the next few days on the new game potentially, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. I don't know about that just yet. But this, therefore, is, yeah, Paul Ricard. Actually quite an interesting circuit in my opinion. I've seen there's a lot of negativity for it as well. You can see how little I've played Assetto Corsa in recent months as I completely drop it out of the chicane. Yeah, but Paul Ricard, it's received a lot of negativity so far, and I'm not really too sure why, in personal opinion, because from driving this track around, you know, on this game, it's actually quite good fun. Now, obviously, people can only base it from what they see, and, well, from what people see, it's miles upon miles of runoff area, although, as you would have just seen, I did nearly bin it. So, it's quite a surprise, you know, that for a lot of people, you know, they're already like, oh, we need to get it off the calendar, it's not a good track. Obviously, it's not really as good as Magny-Cours, but that's just, I think, what people are going to have to accept there, as, once again, I just run massively, massively wide. This was my first laps on the mod, you know, on the track. This is my first laps back on Assetto Corsa in months as well, so obviously I wasn't really sort of try-harding or anything, you know, mistakes were going to be made, and I wasn't really too worried about it there, as you can see, just going for a couple of donuts as well in the background. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a couple of sort of like just getting used to the track laps, and then towards the end of the video I'm going to try and attempt, I got one fairly quick lap and then one lap as well just after that, where it was going quite well, and then unfortunately I made quite a big mistake you know, about halfway around the second lap as well. So we'll get quite a good look at this track on the whole, and it is quite interesting to have a see around this circuit, because obviously it is, in my opinion, it's something very, very different to what we really have any Formula 1 track at the moment. I think probably the closest comparison to it is probably Abu Dhabi, I'd say. You know, a lot of runoff area around the circuit, you know, a lot of different layouts around this circuit as well. But then even Abu Dhabi, you know, it's quite different to this track in many ways. It's quite an odd little circuit as well, you know, there's quite a lot of high-speed bits, and then you get corners around, like in Sector 1, where it's very, very low speed as well. So setup is going to be very, very interesting around this circuit. For the car that I think it'll suit, honestly, I think it'll probably suit the Ferrari the best out of anything. But obviously, on the other hand, you know, it's a new track. No one's raced around here just yet. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, which teams and drivers fare well around the circuit. Lewis Hamilton, this is, I think, is the only track left on the Formula 1 calendar that he is yet to win. So obviously, it'd be quite nice for him as well, especially as a Mercedes fan myself. It'd be quite nice to see Lewis able to come home and take home the race victories, where, you know, finally complete once again the total calendar in Formula 1, you know, add you know, something a little bit different to the trophy cabinet as well. But yeah, this track overall quite a long one. Pole time, I'm gonna have to say, I think my fastest lap around this track was about a 1 minute 41. Now, for some reason, in comparison to real life times, Assetto Corsa, you'll notice it's not just me. I've noticed from watching some of Jimmy Broadbent's race against pole times as well, you know, he's a good 2-3 seconds slower around a lot of circuits. So obviously it's probably going to be, I'd say, sort of around a 1 minute 37 or 1 minute 36 pole time, but obviously I could be completely wrong. This mod could be, you know, a lot more inaccurate than I really thought it would be, so obviously we'll have to wait and see about that, you know, just to make sure what times we're looking at for the race. I think it's 51 lap Grand Prix, 310 kilometers overall. I know Mercedes did actually put a couple of stats out on Twitter about this race, so hopefully it's going to be quite an interesting one. In terms of the track, it's not looking the best for overtaking. You know, there's not too many places where I can see overtakes being made. Maybe into the final couple of maybe into the final corner, maybe onto the back straight. But honestly, I think it would just be a case of trying to pick up pieces from when others make a mistake on such a new track. I'm not too sure how aggressive the curbs are in real life, because they really don't like this Ferrari car. I found that very, very quickly in this mod, and obviously with it being a, a much more simulator style game as well. The curbs are a lot less forgiving than you'll find in things like the Codemasters Formula 1 games. So it'll be interesting to see, potentially down the line I'll do a comparison between, this mod and then the real, well, I say the real track, obviously the track that Codemasters bring to F1 2018 as well. Yeah, this track, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out for this Grand Prix. Obviously, at the end of the day, we really do want quite a good Grand Prix from it. Obviously, like we want every single weekend. There's been a lot of hate towards Formula 1 in recent weeks as well. So obviously, hopefully we can try and get a good race back in, really sort of solidify Paul Ricard on the F1 calendar as well. Like obviously with Baku having a couple of fantastic races over the last couple of seasons. I think, it's clear that, a lot of new tracks do really need these good races to really sort of add them to the calendar with a lot more of a flourish than, if a track doesn't have a, for example, if it came to Paul Ricard the first couple of years weren't particularly good, then I sort of feel, it would struggle to maintain its place on the calendar for too many years after that. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave you on board then with just a fast lap then, obviously, so you can get a bit of a look to the track as well. And I'll see you guys in a sec. So there we are then, that was a fast lap from the Paul Ricard circuit. And overall, as I said, it is quite an interesting circuit. One that I think is, easy to learn but difficult to master, which is obviously really, really good in, sort of Formula 1 circuits. There's a lot of tracks where you can sort of, there's not too many areas to push. Like, obviously, Monaco is probably a brilliant example of that. Obviously, if you push too much, you make a mistake, you hit the wall. But obviously, with quite a lot of runoff around this circuit, you will find drivers will probably be able to push a lot more over the course of the Grand Prix weekend then. Yeah, that was really, overall, there was definitely a lot of time to find on that lap, as I said. But yeah, hopefully it sort of gave you a rough idea of this circuit on the whole, and obviously that is the most important thing, because obviously I want to try and show you guys, different mods from this game. If there's any other mods, obviously you do want me to try and have a look at into Assetto Corsa. I did have a little bit of a plan to try and do a little bit of a series, but obviously I'll wait and see about that. But yeah, as you can see there in the background, making quite a big mistake towards the end of that lap there. But yeah, as I said, obviously wanted to try and give you guys a little bit of an insight to this track. I know Formula 1 is starting to upload a bit of footage from it as well, but what I'm going to do then is I'm going to obviously leave links to the track in the description, as well as to the Halo mod as well. So obviously if you guys are on PC, you want to go check this mod out as well, then, well, I would highly, highly recommend doing so. The Halo mod as well, considering obviously I don't use VR, I still think, it's probably the best Halo mod out there at the moment to really give you a good insight as to, sort of almost what the drivers, sort of see. But yeah, obviously it doesn't actually affect your vision as much as a lot of people think as well. But yeah, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more from this channel, trying to hit 4,000 subscribers. You know, I can't thank you guys enough. We actually hit 3,800. I think that was just before I went on holiday. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more Assetto Corsa mods, and I will see you guys next time for a brand new video.